Shanti Shanti.
So, you should know that in your study of the scriptures, you have to think about it. Take one shloka, go on ruminating, repeating, and if you can chant, that will be very good. If you can chant loudly, you will find that the sound itself has got a great pacifying, sublimating effect on us. So, certain things the Upanishads always emphasize to treat our mindset which is suffering from defects. What are they? I would like to categorize a few. Suppose this, always our mind is divergent, is it not so? Right from beginning, the more and more variety we see, everywhere the mind always goes outward and it is divergent. Now, such a mind has to be made convergent. Because how the multiplicity, the plurality will be replaced by oneness. Mind is always running towards multiplicity. That mind has to concentrate on unity. Then the mind will become convergent. When the mind becomes convergent, then finally where it is converging to, that focus also we will drop. And then the mind will be left to itself. If the mind is going divergent like this, you cannot withdraw the mind and meditate. That is why you always find difficulty in meditation. Because you cannot collect, everybody reports that it runs here and there. One thought you withdraw, another thought will take over. It is always divergent. So such a mind, by giving the concept of the soul, it has to be made convergent. Now suppose those who are not practicing the Vedanta, they are doing some puja. There also the religious purpose also is the same. Suppose you are worshipping Shiva. Then at least some time of the day you are forgetting the worldly variety, the thousands of things of the world that is attracting you, repelling you. Forget all those and collect your mind and focus on Shiva. So when the mind gets focused on Shiva, at least for some time, then what we do, we try to focus on Shiva for more and more time of the day. Even while working also, we try to see Shiva everywhere. These are the common devotional practices. Suppose you have a feeling of enmity with somebody, you cannot stand a person. Then any devotional person devoted to Shiva will start thinking that their guru will tell them that think that your Shiva is in the enemy also. Then the enmity will go, the dvesha bhava, the hatred will go. The moment you see the most beloved of you, the Shiva is in your enemy. And if you superpose that in your mind, then automatically the mind will become comfortable with the enemy also. That because of the dvesha going, because of the hatred going. So you will attain some kind of a samatva. So like that, a devotee is supposed to put everywhere, sees Shiva, whether it is liked things, good things, or bad things, or what he dislikes. Everywhere he is supposed to see Shiva. By that what is happening? The divergent mind is becoming convergent. You can as well say it is discovering the unity in diversity. The whole universe is appearing on the consciousness. So although we are seeing infinite variety, the truth is the single consciousness, the substratum. So whether you approach this singularity through Shiva or through Durga or through some other practice or through anybody, then the purpose is achieved to a certain extent. That the mind is focused on unity, that you are always finding unity in diversity. Now that unity might be, you have a certain concept of a Shiva, formed Shiva in your mind, and that you are imposing everywhere. So that will not always work because you cannot have everywhere the same form. So as you are progressing in your sadhana, finally when you understand that Shiva is not formed like this form is created by us, by human beings, some of the human beings, and each person has a different concept of Shiva also. What is your Shiva and what is his Shiva? They might be different. It is your own mental concept. According to that you are visualizing the form. So the ultimate Shiva is not formed, but it is unformed. And finally, what is it? The ultimate Shiva is my own Atma consciousness. In Kathopanishad, you will find repeated shlokas like this. If you are a practitioner of Homa, Yaga, then consider that the real Agni is not in the Homa Kunda, but in the cavern of your heart. So they are doing the Yajna thinking that I am offering an Agni. But as they progress in their knowledge, they start thinking that this Yaga is only an imitation Yaga. The real Yaga is surrendering everything, offering in everything in the Lord who is seated within the cavern of our heart. Similarly, the next shloka will say, if you are a worshipper of Devi, know that Devi is nothing but he is the Atma in you. If you are worshipper of something else, shloka after shloka they will say, because they have to treat our mind, wherever the mind is getting concentrated, constricted, they have to release that constriction and make the mind liberal, widespread, expand the mind. You know, all of you, I have said so many times, otherwise also you know that even a devotee like Ramakrishna Deva, how much difficulty he had in attaining the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And the difficulty was because of his intense devotion. He was a person who took the heaven by storm, so to say. The intensity was so much. In Ramakrishna's life, Ramakrishna Deva's life, we have to learn the intensity with which he used to practice. It's tremendous intensity. That was the main point, focus. Now, in devotion also, his Kali became life Kali because of this intensity of the devotion. It was his devotion which made the Kali living. Not that the living Kali appeared in his there. The life was given by him. It was his mind. But that made him so attached to, in a way, to the Kali, that when Totapuri wanted him to get to Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that is the formless thing, he was not able to. Every time he comes close, again Kali comes in. The ultimate moment his Kali was the living Kali comes in and he gets trapped by the Kali form. So Totapuri got agitated. He finally hit his forehead with the firewood or something, glass piece or something, I don't remember now. Glass piece. He hit his forehead, being impatient about it. Immediately Ramakrishna Deva, he just opened up the whole thing and the form went away and he entered into a Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And then Totapuri was surprised that when this fellow went into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he doesn't come out of it. It is much more than what he was doing, he had known. It is much more than that. That is the intensity. See, the intensity will be apparent everywhere, whatever you do. If you do meditation with the intensity for a formed object, that form object will become living by your own intensity of your consciousness, your mind. Similarly, when you intensely do the meditation for the unformed or for the soul or for consciousness, there also it will be the same thing. Your meditation will be immediately successful and you will remain there for a long period. Similarly, if such a person pursues knowledge, he will not leave anything as gross. We call Brahma Nishtha. Nishtha means Nisheshena Tishthatiti Nishtha. That means there will not be any residue left. A Brahma Nishtha is a person for whom there is nothing other than Brahman. The moment the mind thinks any differential thought or any likes and dislike, it goes on harping on or it goes on picking up. Immediately his mind will work to dissolve that and get into the truth. That Nishtha is so much intense that in his behavioral life also he will not get trapped by any of the world phenomena. And nature has its own way, that suppose a person is all right in a certain situation, the nature may drag him to a situation where there will be intense activity. And when you are doing intense activity, suppose some social movement or so, you will not be able to anchor to the truth easily. There may be times where you are getting swayed by the world appearance. Because suppose Arjuna, he is facing a war. In a war situation, whatever he was told in Bhagavad Gita, how will he keep it? And he was not able to keep. Every night Krishna had to advise them to take the right path. The brothers used to quarrel every night getting back to their camp. abuse each other and so many things. Everywhere Krishna was playing a role, clever role, by liberating their mind. So whenever we are doing something, we are in intense activity or so, the Brahmanishta needed will be more to remain in that. So it is an ever expanding life, so to say. Now what I wanted to say is that this Upanishad, all the Upanishads, they try to make our mind, which is always fragmented. Fragmented why? Because they feel that these differential appearances are real. This is good, this is bad, this is what I like, that I don't like, he is good, he is bad, he is a criminal, he is a saint. Always we are seeing all right, but we cling to that reality of the fragmented things. So everywhere the Upanishads will try to imbue our mind with the oneness and uniformity, to do away with the fragmentation of the mind. Although we will see the variety, we will know that they are only appearance in the one single consciousness. As I said, that you write in air, whatever you write Brihaspati, or you write a chalk, or you write a light, or you write clock, you write elephant, you write God, it is all air only, nothing else. Like that, everything is consciousness and consciousness alone. This is one point that they go on stressing, to deal with the fragmentation of our mind, divergence of our mind. The other point they constantly stress is that you will find, as I pointed out yesterday, once they will point out, in the first line they will point out the individual truth, then they will go to the universal truth. Divyo hyamurtah purushaha sabhahyabhyantaro hyajaha. After this, the third verse, etasma jayate prano manas sarvendriyani cha kham vayurjyotirapaha prithivi vishvasya dharini. This first line, he says that etasmat jayate. That means from this consciousness, from this soul, from this ultimate truth. Now jayate means getting born. But actually I said that it is all appearing, you have to remember. The janma comes from the first creation itself, it will be in a cycle of janma mrityu, janma mrityu. Janma mrityu means cause and effect chain. That. But for our expression, how will we always say? We will say etasmat jayate, from this it is come. So he said that etasmat jayate. What are the things? Pranaha, manaha, sarvendriyani. These are all referring to our body. That means whatever in other way, if you think, even the body we are perceiving with its prana, mana and all that, are they not also an appearance in the consciousness? They are all appearing in the consciousness. As the world is an appearance in my consciousness, my own body, mind, personality is an appearance in the consciousness. So can we not say that from the consciousness these are born? So on one hand you have to completely dissolve or sublimate your personality, that my personality has nothing other than the soul. You understand? We are thinking we are gross body, or at least this mind, I have a very good mind, the other is having bad mind, I have dukkha, sukha, etc. It's not like that. This, from the soul, all the aspects of our being are born, means they are all appearing in that. It means they all can be dissolved in that also. That is what happens as we progress in spirituality. We finally feel that the whole body, Atma is felt everywhere. The whole body is like a fire. That everywhere it is the same soul. It will become a realistic feeling there. Now, saying that, immediately they go over to the universal dimension. Kham vayuhu jyotihi apaha prithivi vishvasya dharini. That whatever we are seeing in the entire huge infinite universe, that is also born of the same Atma, which is same as the Brahman. This universal dimension. So by that, what are they doing? They are taking our mind to the universal dimension and fusing the individual dimension with the universal dimension. This is what I wanted to point out. The Upanishads are always trying, on one hand, the unity in diversity or uniformity in fragmentation, And this is the other aspect which they are always doing. They will describe the individual aspects of our being born of the soul and the whole universe also born of the same soul. Another point is that all this Kham, Vayu, all these things we are seeing, it is only because of our indriyas. So whatever greatness the world has, is it not in the same consciousness? The greatness as well as the smallness. So it is unifying the whole creation. Actually in the Shastras, whenever they describe the creation, it is not so much as in science we go from one to other in an objective manner. In our Shastras, the description of creation is not that. You will find different models of creations used in different shlokas, even in the same book. In Yoga Vasishtha, you will find at least 6, if not more, models of creation given. So we must know the key to understand the Shastras. What is the key? The model of creation they are giving, so that they say that this infinite variety has come from oneness. It is a divergent process of one becoming many. Now you walk back from the many to the one, then you can reach the ultimate truth and you can become free. So the model is given. With any model, if you walk back, then you reach the soul or reach the Brahman, reach the consciousness. So idea of presenting the model is to unify this, that saying this, nothing is different here, nothing is fragmented here. The whole universe is not different from your personality. The whole universe is appearing in your personality, and from this differential, variegated universe, you can easily reach your whole singularity of Brahman, and which is nothing different from the I you are always using throughout the day, not knowing its dimension. We always use the I. Without I, we cannot even think. In all our thoughts, can you ever eliminate the I? Even when you are meditating, I want to become a self-realized. I want to see the self. I is first there. I want to experience the self. Without I, we don't do anything. But even in I want to experience the self also, the I is a small, puny, weak, lamenting I. I have not been able to succeed. But that I, they are saying, it is not so small. It is the same I in which the whole universe is appearing to be. This is how they are shattering all our shackles, all our capsules, and breaking us open into the world harmony. So they will speak about the world harmony, and whatever they describe, you will always find there is a harmony, there is an unification. This is the purpose of the Upanishads. So we will read these verses a little faster because they are all, these three I have already explained. Would you like to chant? Then I will go slow. But Agnir Murdha Chakshushi Chandra Suryo Dishashrotre Vag Vivritascha Vedah Vayuh Prano Hridayam Vishwamasya Padbhyam Prithvi Hi Sarva Bhutantaratma See, what they are saying, first they are taking our vision to the universal dimension. Although I say I will not interpret, but when I read I feel like interpreting. What can be done? We cannot progress much. He says, Agnir Murdha. Murdha means this point is called Murdha, the peak of our Shira. That this truth they are trying to give a form, because we are so much attached to form. When we even study Upanishad, most of the people have difficulty in visualizing a formless anything. So in terms of form, they will take us to the formless. In Bhagavatam also you will find that first you meditate on Krishna, the Vishnu, the whole body. Then you meditate on the face, smiling face of Vishnu. So the body is forgotten, face. Then you shift your focus from the face to only the smile. that face form, all those things have gone, it has become already abstract. The smile is abstract. From there you take your mind to the Akasha. Akasha means space, or first maybe there, I don't remember now, maybe the atmosphere, then to the space. So the mind has to become spatial, expanded. From there, don't think anything, be what you are. Finally that space also has to be dropped. To make the mind, small mind, constricted mind, transcendental, we cannot go from the smallness to transcendental. Because by habit we are small. First that small has to be expanded to make it universal. When it has known the smallness as well as the expanded universalness, then you can transcend and leave both, the universal as well as small, the gross as well as subtle. The gross mind can never become transcendental, because unless you are able to visualize subtlety, how will you become one which contains both subtlety and grossness? You have to make your mind first fit to understand, grasp and visualize subtlety. Once that is done, the mind has become subtle. So the mind can become gross as well as subtle. Then you go to the transcendental level from where both subtlety and grossnesses come. This is the technique everywhere. If you say if soul is everything, it is the generator of both goodness and badness, remaining bad and criminal, I can attain the soul. No, because the criminality you are given to is because of your constriction of the mind, selfishness and all. From there you have to enlarge, expand, where the selfishness will go, the small desires, attachment, they will go, and then you can become transcendental, which encompasses both good and bad. So from bad we have to go to good and embrace both good and bad. Finally, when you become good, you start hating bad. So bad is eliminated. But you cannot hate. As long as hatred is there, bad is not within you. So although from bad you have to become good, but you have to embrace bad also. You don't have to become bad, but you have to embrace bad also as equally valid. So a valid manifestation of the truth. Then only you can transcend. That is why a good people everybody likes. There is no greatness in being good to good people. When you are able to become good to bad people, then you are really bad and really good, and you can become transcendental from there. To a good people, everybody would like to be good. There is no credit in that. When you can become sympathetic and good to bad people, then you can attempt for transcendence. Now, so they are trying to make our small mind, constricted mind, universal first. Once they take us to the universal level, then they will take us to the transcendental level from there. It is not only big and infinite, but it is small also. In Kathopanishad also we had such shlokas. It is the grossest of the gross and the subtlest of the subtle. It is the smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. All these terms will come. So we are trying to conceive of an universal Virata Purusha. Virata means it's all pervading universal Purusha. His mudna is Agni. Agni means as such fire, but it means energy. The whole universe is full of energy. It is made of energy also. There is a minutest creation also comes out of energy. It means the first motion is set. Energy means motion, change. So its peak of the head is in energy, which is everywhere in the space, everywhere. So you have to think that everywhere is its peak of the head. The murna is there everywhere. Then Chakshushi is Chandra Surya. His eyes are the sun and the moon, because they are the brightest two things in our sky. So consider his eyes are, one is sun and one is moon. They are the eyes of that. Dishashrotre, all the directions, they are his ears. Because direction from there the sound is coming. Vag vivritascha vedaha, all the words and the Vedas. Vedas are collection of words. All the knowledge, all the Vedas, they are all his Vak. Vak means his words. That is of the Virata Purusha, of the universal dimension of the being, of the soul. All these are the attributes. Vayuhu prano. His prana is the Vayu. The wind is everywhere in this atmosphere. Actually, wind and prana is directly related. If you don't breathe, you will die. Our prana cycle is run by wind. So his prana is the entire Vayu. Everywhere is his prana. So can you say that your prana is different from his prana? It is not.